The Himalayas, often referred to as the third pole due to their vast reserves of ice and snow, are under an unprecedented threat from global warming. As temperatures rise, the glaciers that form the backbone of this region are rapidly retreating, leading to the formation of glacial lakes. These lakes pose a significant danger to communities living downstream. The phenomenon known as Glacial Lake Outburst Floods (GLOFs) represents one of the most serious hazards in the Himalayan region today. As the glaciers melt, water accumulates in the depressions left behind, creating glacial lakes. These lakes are often dammed by unstable ice or loose moraines, piles of debris left by the glacier. The natural barriers holding back these lakes are fragile and can give way with little warning, especially under the pressure of the rapidly increasing water volume. When these barriers break, the result is a sudden and powerful release of water, known as a glacial lake outburst flood. Global warming has accelerated the melting of glaciers in the Himalayas, leading to an increase in both the number and size of glacial lakes. According to studies, the average annual temperature in the Himalayan region has been rising at a rate higher than the global average, which directly contributes to the retreat of glaciers. As these glaciers shrink, the formation of glacial lakes becomes more common, and the risk of GLOFs increases. GLOFs are extremely destructive. When a glacial lake bursts, the resulting flood can unleash millions of cubic meters of water, along with debris, rocks, and ice, traveling at high speeds down valleys. These floods can wipe out entire villages, destroy infrastructure such as bridges, roads, and hydropower stations, and claim numerous lives. The impact on the local ecosystem is equally severe, with long-lasting effects on the landscape and biodiversity. The communities living in the Himalayan valleys are particularly vulnerable to GLOFs. Many of these communities rely on tourism, agriculture, and livestock, which can be completely devastated by a flood. Moreover, the remote and often inaccessible nature of these regions makes emergency response and disaster management extremely challenging. The threat is not limited to rural areas. Growing urbanization in the Himalayan foothills means that towns and cities are also at risk. The infrastructure in these areas is often not designed to withstand such catastrophic events, leading to widespread damage and long-term economic impacts. Addressing the threat of GLOFs requires a combination of mitigation and adaptation strategies. Early warning systems are crucial in providing communities with the time needed to evacuate in case of an imminent outburst. These systems rely on monitoring the stability of glacial lakes, using remote sensing technology and on-the-ground inspections. Engineering solutions, such as controlled drainage of glacial lakes, can also reduce the risk of outbursts. This involves gradually lowering the water level in potentially dangerous lakes through artificial channels, thereby reducing the pressure on natural dams. Building resilient infrastructure that can withstand floods and educating communities about the risks and emergency procedures are also essential components of a comprehensive disaster management strategy. While local and national efforts are critical, addressing the root cause of GLOFs global warming requires concerted global action. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions, transitioning to renewable energy sources, and implementing sustainable development practices are all necessary steps to slow the rate of glacier melt and reduce the long-term threat of GLOFs. In conclusion, the threat of glacial lake outburst floods in the Himalayan region is a clear and present danger, exacerbated by global warming. Protecting the communities and ecosystems of this fragile region requires urgent action at both the local and global levels. As the climate continues to change, the frequency and intensity of these disasters are likely to increase, making it imperative that we act now to mitigate the risks and build resilience in the face of an uncertain future.